Good evening, everyone. We want to welcome you all to another episode of the Black Market Podcast, presented by Hack the Markets. I am one of your co-hosts, AC, also known as the Market Oracle.
What's going on, everybody? It's 4K checking in, man. Just wanted to say what's going on.
Yes.
Hope everybody
Missed
had a
you
good,
guys on
good day and month.
Thursday. I was heading out to California, so I know you guys had a good show.
Yeah,
I man, I missed it, but at the same time, I was out there in the California, out there in LA, having a nice little time.
a little
Crazy thing
relaxing.
about it though, crazy thing about it,
Mhm.
that Delta thing, and we're not talking about Delta Airlines, we're talking about that COVID Delta.
That
That
variant.
thing, yeah, man, that variant. Hey, that thing made its way to California, and California ain't playing with it. So if you guys heading to California anytime soon, it's not that you have to do anything extra, anything like that, but they are um they are like taking that mask serious. Like you gotta have a mask on and all that stuff. So
Really?
between that and between just knowing that on the plane, of course, you gotta have a mask on and inside the airports and all that stuff. Outside
Yeah.
of that though, I mean you're pretty good. As long as you're outside, you're good.
Okay. Yeah, I know they're moving it to indoors and having everybody mandated for any indoor activity.
Yeah, for the indoors, yeah, for sure. Now, what's crazy to me is what I have been seeing is that some companies are mandating people to get the vaccine, and that right there is kind of crazy. Because
Mm,
I mean, I think it's gone to a point where Facebook is mandating its people,
okay.
and corporate workers of Walmart. So not the people that work, inside the stores or whatnot, but the corporate office.
Right.
Those workers are getting mandated, and I think it's like that for it's another Uber. So the drivers don't
Oh,
have to, but the people that's in the corporate office of Uber, they're
okay.
mandating them. So I mean that's kind of crazy because it's like I understand that they're trying to get the vaccine into people and that should supposedly stop it. But the thing is like we know that the vaccine isn't working. It's not stopping anything. So I mean,
Right.
like, why are you gonna mandate someone to get something that is you can still catch it? It
When we'll
doesn't
have
really
to do
make
the same
sense.
thing again.
They try to say that is not something that's going to it's not something that's gonna prevent it. Which is, I mean, a vaccine doesn't prevent different things, but I mean, it's supposed to help you fight it and prevent you from getting it. You know, build some type of
Symptoms,
immunity
lesser
to it.
symptoms.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And with that being said, I mean, that's cool and all, but I'm still gonna catch it. So what's the point?
that's real. Yeah.
So why would you
Instead of it.
mandate? I could see if they were saying like this thing stops it, you don't catch it.
Right.
Period. Yeah, okay, mandate that, and there's like an inoculation that everybody takes. Boom. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like we don't have to worry
Gotcha.
about this anymore. The disease goes away. Boom, we win. End of story. But if that was the scenario, I might think about this a little bit differently. But
Hmm.
knowing that this is not helping anything, and you're still and you're gonna mandate someone to take it, that's crazy.
Yeah. It's kind of almost a little too late. At this point, it's kind of if we were going to
Yeah.
mandate, we should have done this
Plus,
some
on
time
top
ago.
of that, how can you mandate someone to take a vaccine? Like, how can you force someone to take it? Now, you can't force anyone to take it.
And I've seen other places that are not requiring you to disclose if you're vaccinated or not, too.
Yeah,
So it's really like you don't even have confirmation if the person
yeah.
actually goes and does it.
And that's crazy. I mean, because like I said, like it's your own body. So I mean, I don't see how you can force people to take a vaccine, especially injecting something
Right.
foreign into your body.
Born in it. Mm-hmm.
Like that right there is wild that people are forcing people to inject something into them. I mean,
Yeah.
that's crazy. But
I
I
mean,
think
we've
they
had.
said that a caveat if you didn't want to get it is they'll just test you regularly. But who wants to continuously just keep getting tested? Like, how long
Man,
is this test gonna just keep going? Like, are you just gonna continuously test me for the rest of the time I work with you or something
right.
like that? Like, that's ridiculous. Like, why don't you do this with the flu? Why don't you do this with all these other with the cold? All this other stuff that people die. More people die from the flu than they die from this COVID stuff. Because
Yeah.
even with the Delta variant being more um contagious and all that stuff of what they're trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
Um, this stuff isn't killing anyone. and hospitalizations isn't going up. And I mean, that's a fact. Like they
Mm.
even said it in the news. Like hospitalization is not up and death is not up. So
Just the number of cases
yeah,
are.
so it's like I mean, and we haven't been talking about hospitalizations and deaths since the very beginning of the pandemic.
That's true.
So
Yeah.
that's kind of like I mean, it's a lot of different things out here, and it's just a lot of stuff that's going on that makes you kind of question what's going on and like, are these pharmacy companies trying to like make a comeback? Like, what's really going on?
And until we get underlying reasons as to what this is really benefiting, some people are making a killing off of this stuff.
Exactly.
So,
I mean, they're making a lot of money. Cause I mean, like, what else would you? Why else would you need this thing to be like mandatory? Like that makes no
right.
sense. Like you're not making any other shots mandatory, but you're gonna make this one mandatory. Like, come on, dude.
Like this is the only one that we've had to get a shot for the entire, all of our.
Exactly. But I mean, hey, that's crazy. And I just want to know, like, what happened to the common cold and what happened to the flu? Like, did they just kind of like get bumped out the way? Like, COVID beat them up and
Yeah, I
like
mean,
kind of took them off.
now I
So
guess they're priority number 2 and 3 at this rate because they're
I don't
COVID
even
has
think
gotten
people are catching
hot.
colds and the flu anymore, man. Like
Well, you
nobody's
notice
catching the. I haven't heard anybody since 2019 say they caught the cold or caught the flu.
those masks. I mean, the masks are one thing, but people are more cautious about being in spaces with folks.
But the
Not
thing is, I understand that, but how are you catching the COVID then?
That's true too. Yeah, yeah.
Like that doesn't
Because we
make
don't really
sense.
know about. There's no information about how it's passed. You just see it. Hey, I got it. You get tested for it, and that's it. But
And it's like, I mean, that's the same way as how you get the flu and all that stuff. It's not like you can just walk around and say, "Oh, the flu is over here. Let me not go over there."
right.
I mean, so you're gonna just catch it just because you were around somebody that you knew that you didn't know were sick or something like that. Same way as you would catch COVID. Okay, cool. So I'm just not getting certain things. Like, what happened to the flu and what happened to the common cold? Like, yeah, I guess that stuff just went away. Like, we
Yeah,
don't
all the
even have that
research,
anymore.
all that funding went to COVID research.
Man,
So, no, that's what I mean. We're just fighting something we have no idea what it is.
yeah,
At this rate, it's so that you try to do social distancing. You try to. Hell, you even saw people at Rolling Loud, Lollapalooza. Hundreds of thousands of folks are in the same space. Like this is clearly not
yeah,
based on any guidelines whatsoever.
none.
So, I mean, at some point, we've got to if we're really going to take this thing seriously, it's got to decide are we going to mandate it and be firm about it, or everybody try to stay 6 feet, wear your mask, but then not do it at certain times. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's an odd situation out here. I can tell you one thing though, man. The airports are back booming. Like, so
Man,
people are actually get back flying. And then I saw some reports that were saying that the TSA counts, they
mm-hmm.
were up. They were up really nicely. I think they were probably close to pre-pandemic or right. I think it was close. I don't think it surpassed it. I think it was close to it. So
Yeah.
that's pretty good to hear. But at the same time, like, do you want to hear that when they're
With
also
this
trying to
going,
push
yeah,
this
exactly.
narrative about COVID and all this stuff now with this Delta variant? Like,
Right.
is that a good thing or is that a bad thing? That's how you have to look at that now. So it's like, you know,
I mean, as long as we keep looking at it as a thing of when COVID is over, even though we really aren't even through the first piece of it yet, we haven't gotten an idea of what we're fighting. So,
yeah,
I mean, we've got to adjust, but I looked at it from funny. I was talking to a friend, and you look at it from just a safety standpoint, but also people do need to make money. People do need to, be able to afford finances and build and pay and everything. So
yeah,
shutting down back to phase one, that takes a lot of people out of the game.
yeah, exactly. Because I mean, yeah, you shut back down, man. I mean, like, what are you gonna do? Because now, guess what happened? The eviction moratorium is obsolete now. Like it is
Yeah.
not around anymore. So hey,
Well,
3 million people are on watch right now for that.
oh my god.
3 million people on watch right now. It's a lot of people that's not gonna be in a house now.
Right.
And it's a lot of people that know that and they've just been riding this wave out. It's a lot of people that's gonna act like they didn't know this was about to happen. That's
Mm-hmm.
what's gonna be a majority of the people. They know they haven't paid rent since 2020, 2019, early 2020. And now they're gonna act like, what you mean? I can't stay here. I'm late. Yeah, you late, brother. You ain't
And that's
paid nothing. How you gonna act like you ain't how you supposed to be here? Come on, man.
and
Don't play like that.
and then you see the rates for housing going, or the pricing for housing increasing as well. So is that strains another subset of folks?
And see, the thing is, it was increasing because it was increasing because of all the people just buying houses and stuff.
Yeah,
But we talked about it, I think, on not the last one, but the one previous. It was the point that we had, what was it? We had oh, because of the supply and all that stuff, and because of this eviction moratorium, people couldn't get put out. So that right there disrupts a
yeah,
lot of stuff because the people who were supposed to be put out in February, March, or
right.
whenever this thing came in, it was probably like April or May, probably. The people who were supposed to be getting put out in April, May, June,
Yeah,
July, all that
top
stuff,
of the list.
all the way up until this year, because I'm talking about June, July of last year, 2020. Now
Mhm.
we're back to we're in August right now, 2021. Like we only have a few more months in this year before we're into 2022.
Right.
So 2021 basically turned out to be just like 2022 in a sense for right now. Because I mean, like even if everything goes back to normal in what, October, I mean, things were normal for
Normal.
January and February of
Right.
2020. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Suppose, yeah. Yeah, 2020 January and February was pretty good, and then March came around, and then that's when, you
Everything
know,
shut down. Yeah,
yeah.
basically and all.
So it's definitely interesting, but to see these people moving around and stuff like that, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Pretty interesting. Cause we also had what is it? Oh, the malls. So of course, just keeping it into perspective of all this stuff where we have we got the people on flights, got people
Hmm.
going to festivals,
Yeah.
got people doing all this stuff like this.
Popular in public places again.
Yeah. So now we have that, and so now we have the mall. So mall property owner, Simon Properties.
Hmm.
The guys
Yep.
that they own a lot of malls around here,
Yeah.
around the nation. They actually said that they say that sales at its centers returned to pre-pandemic levels back in June.
Wow.
So
Really?
that's
Okay.
something right there. Yeah, Simon Property Group saw sales at its shopping malls and outlet centers bounce back to pre-pandemic levels. So
I mean, people are, we've started to give kind of full back, I guess, back into post COVID until this Delta thing starts to
yeah,
become more rampant. So,
yeah. So they're hoping that this will go ahead and get some people to get some leases signed because, of course, you're seeing
oh, okay,
people seeing foot traffic come back in and things of that nature.
right,
So you're hoping that they renew these leases now, because if they don't renew the lease, then I mean it's kind of
yeah,
bad because now you don't have your whole business model is based off of tenants coming into your store or coming into your center rather and renting out space for their store. So if you don't have that going on anymore, that's kind of like a messed up business model
also,
now.
yeah,
So I see what they're
large,
trying to
large
do.
portion of your income.
Yeah, I see what they're trying to do. And I mean, like, it's up 80%. They say that the sales were up 80% from a year earlier. I mean, it wasn't hard to beat last year, though, with everything just shut down how it was. And people just not moving because they're just so terrified. But now I guess you're seeing a lot of people move just because
Was surprising.
they got to a point where they're just kind of like, screw it.
Right. We saw some construction. I mean, larger parts of construction. I mean, even all of that was up at the time as well. So it's funny that it's like, yeah, everything kind of stopped, but construction and building was one of those things that kind of was halted for, I think, a smaller period of time than like us being in the house and going through the different phases of opening, reopening, and that kind of thing.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a lot of different things that's going on right now. Like Interesting things. I'll say that. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. This world after COVID definitely looking different. Definitely looking a lot different. Because I'm trying to understand like how long are these guys gonna like put into play put into place a lot of these limitations and policies and
Mandates.
mandates and all that stuff. I wonder how long is this really gonna last?
I don't think any. I mean, I think people are obviously going to go and they can stay open. That's obviously the biggest, or I guess more prioritization than safety side. But
Yeah.
money and making money is we stay in America. So
Let me see. Now this is some
yeah,
interesting
it's
stuff
good.
right here. They're saying that a third police officer dies by suicide after defending Capitol during January 6th riot. That's interesting right there. I just saw this pop up.
There's been so many things. There's been so many events that have happened, due to COVID, and everybody just feeling like they need to go exercise their opinion to be in the house and all. That we would have never had this sort of, I guess, actor types of events without this happening.
I'm just trying to understand why these guys killing themselves, man. Like people they say this is the third cop that's died by suicide. So it's not like people are pulling up and killing them. Like that's the third cop that died by suicide. That's ridiculous. Like that's something that I'm gonna have to dive a little bit more into. Like I just saw it pop up, but that's interesting because I
Mm-hmm.
mean, how is that happening? And then I guess that gets into the mental health thing. But then it's like I don't get why they would kill themselves after they defended the Capitol during that riot. But I guess it could have been with PTSD or something. I really don't know.
Yeah, that's another thing that's interesting looking into mental health and how many we've never had a focus of mental health across the nation like that. People are more so being Simone Biles and Naomi at the forefront of it now, but
Yeah. And
even
I mean that was a little
Brandon Marshall.
disappointing to not see Simone perform. But
Well, she
I'm
put
all
this
down for the
costume though.
mental health. I feel like though, if you're an athlete and you feeling that you're not feeling something, I mean like by all means just don't show up, Just let somebody else go.
Yeah, she'll compete in the balance beam on Sunday though.
Yeah, I saw that. So I'm happy to see that. But the other contest that she was in, I think she pulled out like 3 or 4. And it's like, man, that's big
Yeah,
hits. And I mean like winning gold medals isn't everything. I'm not saying that you just should go out
right.
there no matter what, but I'm pretty sure you weren't
Mm-hmm.
feeling this before you got to Tokyo either. You don't just pop up on the scene and then just say, I'm not feeling this anymore, especially at that level.
Yeah, yeah, and you are
At that level, you've been doing it at a
that is
professional level for so many years. You don't just show up to a match and then say, I don't want to be here anymore. Like, you have
there you
those
go.
feelings before you even get there.
And
And
I wonder what she, if anything she tried to do to exercise that, to say like, hey, just so y'all know, I'm not. And then it may have been a thing of somebody that just doesn't really care, and they see more of the benefit of you need to go out there and give it a shot
yeah,
versus
it definitely could
allowing
have
her
been
to take
something like
time.
that. But at the same time,
Yeah,
like, because of the stunts that they're doing, and you can fall and break something easily or in any part of your body,
easy.
even down to your back of your neck, which would be
Yeah.
even that would be
Mm-hmm.
terrible. So with that being said,
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't show up, me personally. It's like, look, I understand that you guys want me to do this, but right now, I'm just not, I can't do it. Like, I'm just gonna have to take this break and
Right.
just sit this one out, let somebody else go. Because like the rest of the team
Yeah.
was actually shining. I did like seeing the rest of the team. They were actually doing very well.
Yeah.
They looked poised to be
Mhm.
that, this was their first Olympics and all that stuff. And so, everything was going smooth for them, and I'm glad to see that. And it took a lot of I guess it
Right.
took some of the
Right.
spotlight off of her and allowed them to shine a little bit. So that's a good thing that I see.
Yeah.
But I feel like, she probably, and that's just my opinion, she probably could have just sat this one out and just let somebody else take her position. And, I know you the best. You want to go out here and compete and stuff, but if you're not feeling it and you're gonna sit out for all the competitions, man, you could have did that at the house
Right.
too and let somebody else do
I
that.
wonder how much they get. I mean, I know they get a lot for sponsorship and all of that, but I wonder how much they make with
To be
from
honest,
the
man, I
Olympics.
don't think they really make money off the Olympics. I
I
think
don't
they
think
make
so
money
either.
off of the sponsorships and stuff.
Oh, that's a good factor.
Cause
Yeah.
I don't even think they pay for you. Like the United States isn't paying for you to go to the Olympics. You have to pay for yourself to go over there. That's why they have the sponsors and things like that.
Oh, I didn't know they didn't pay. Wow.
Yeah, the
Yeah, I would
United
have.
States isn't paying for you to go to the Olympics. Like you have to pay your own way. And that's why some people don't go too because they don't have like sponsorships and things of that nature. But
Right.
yeah,
So I think that's a sacrifice in and of itself, So you gotta try to put a career together, and you don't want to jeopardize it for one moment in time and
yeah.
put yourself up.
So
So, and some of these NBA players are getting paid some ridiculous amounts of money.
man, they getting paid crazy. But that's
Yeah.
just the NBA, man. Like the NBA and NFL, they get paid. I'm not saying that they're not getting paid. They get paid. But it's nothing like MLB. That baseball money is something totally different.
Yeah. It's getting. I mean, Chris Paul 30 million, Trey Young 35, uh, Kyle Lowry just I don't know, 27, 28. So
I mean, like I said,
they're
I'm
just
not
definitely
saying they're
growing
not
for
getting paid.
sure.
They're getting some money. I'm not saying they're not getting money, but when you say that they're getting
Baseball,
paid 35 and 30 and stuff like that, and then you hear there's somebody in
right?
baseball getting paid 500 million, then what you say? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's like,
some of
yeah,
these
yeah, yeah, I'm
crazy
making that
contracts.
300, but I'm making half a billion. This man making half a billion, and you making at the
Yeah,
most, like with max contracts, all that stuff. I'm talking about everything. You might make
yeah.
100 and some million, close to 200. And I'm talking about
I'm
that's
even
over a
looking now
whole
that
bunch of years too. Now the
yeah,
baseball contracts are
I'm
over a
looking
whole
now they
bunch
have
of
like
years too, but you're
14.
also not having to run up and down the
Yeah,
court, jump, all this. You
that's
swinging a
true.
bat and then you running after the ball when it's hit. A
Yeah,
lot less impact
8 years,
than
100
baseball.
million.
I mean, in basketball.
14 years, 340 million.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. So you can actually play that game for a minute though, and you don't have anything to worry about. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, unless you're a pitcher or something like that. But other than that, man, you really solid to play baseball for a very long time. And if you're good, they're gonna pay you a lot of money, a lot of money. But hey, basketball is entertaining, man. That's why everybody want to be in that basketball scene. It's entertaining. I can't lie. It's a world sport, but baseball is a world sport too. But basketball has really, really come about as like a world sport, and you can see it in the Olympics now. Like I love the Olympics. Still watching it. I can't wait till 8 when they come back on with the track and field and all that stuff. So it's coming on in a
Yeah,
second. But
yeah, yeah.
the uh the Olympics, man, that right there is showing you how good the world is, like, and how good they have gotten at the game of basketball. And then when you actually think about the NBA
Yeah,
and like the business model that they have and how they're reaching out to these other countries and how they have like this African league that's coming,
right.
and then you have like all
Mhm.
these European leagues and they're coming over and joining the NBA. The best of those are coming over and joining the NBA and actually making some noise inside of the NBA. I mean, that right there is, starts starts putting a little different another light on what's going on and like, what we've known in the past.
Yeah, how the league's evolving. It was it's growing so much, and you can see a lot of the superstars, younger guys that are
Yeah.
really starting to be good. So,
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So, I mean, it's definitely interesting to watch. I see
no, I'm
that
looking right here.
so because of that federal eviction moratorium, I forgot to say this.
Mm-hmm.
So the White House is trying to defend that. They're trying to defend their decision not to extend it. And so, of course, I'm with
What
them
is
though.
it?
I mean, like, there's no way that you can expect something a business that relies on rents to be paid. How can that business stay alive if you're telling people that they don't have to pay and they're banned from getting evicted?
Right,
There's no way that that
right.
business model can sustain. I understand that there's a lot
Literally,
of people out
yeah.
here that probably, you know, are in a, they're in some type of bind or something like that. And
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is what it is because if you were in that situation and you were the owner of that company, you wouldn't just go out here and say, "Oh yeah, everybody just live in my spots for free." Like I know my business model is this is how I make money, but don't pay me anything. Just move in. What was the reason of you even making this investment? Why did you even
Right.
start
So
this
what's your
company? You know?
right? What's the
Why
return
did
going
you
to
even
look like?
buy
You
these
have no way of.
properties? Why did you
Yeah,
even
yeah.
sign up to finance this stuff? Like what's
Just
the
to
point?
do all the banking for it and all of that for or minimal return,
Or in
if
this
any.
case, no return. Like you get zero return.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Everything you
saying. If
spent
any.
out, you spent out. You don't even get anything back.
Yeah.
That wouldn't make sense as a business. Like you just spend money and never make a profit. You just keep spending money, spending money. Like that's how people go bankrupt.
So these
And I understand there's some good people out here that, just ended up in a bad situation. And those are the
right.
people that, I feel bad for. But it's a lot of people out here who just signed up and they finesse their way by making up some tax papers just so that they can get inside, or they made up some income papers just so that they can get this house
Yeah.
or this, that, and the other. It's a lot of stuff like that that goes on, and they I can't get down with that one. Like you need to be put out. You can't even afford to stay in here and
And
you
maybe
lied to get in here in the first place.
right.
Or
And then
you
thought it would be no
living
repercussion.
beyond your means. You stretching that budget to the point where that budget can't stretch no more. And if one small thing goes wrong, the budget busts wide open. And
Yeah. Yeah.
it's a lot of people living like
That's a
that
whole
too,
different
man. I don't
consideration.
understand that. That's why we try to teach budgeting and all these other things and how to
Right.
actually save money so that you can have something to invest with. Because I mean, yeah, we can tell you to invest money. We could tell you to get into the stock market. But if you don't have money to put into the stock market, you're not gonna do it because how am I gonna put money into the stock market? I have all this. Do you need all this? That's gonna be the number one question. If
Right.
not, cut some of it. If you
Mhm.
just have to have it, okay, now you need to figure out another way to make more money then. If you have to have all these luxuries, you need to figure out how to make a better income then. So it's either going to be you cut some luxuries or you get on a grind. You can't just sit there
And
and
that's
just,
interesting too. We
yeah,
haven't had an option to really reevaluate finances in the market ever.
yeah,
Being at home that first phase, now you get an opportunity to see, okay, this is really where my spending was going when I was just moving in life. But when we weren't driving as much, your now car that you're paying every month, does that make sense? That you were putting that or money that you're pouring into it monthly. You're reevaluating, you're really understanding, like, is this really the budget I want to go with? Try to make some adjustments. So,
I'm telling you, man, because I'm always doing that. I'm always reevaluating something and seeing
yeah.
how I can save on something. That's how I ended up cutting the cord, man. I cut the cord and ended up saving some money that way. And I ended up I did the calculations. I just didn't feel like doing it. But one day I just sat down. I got tired of it. I kept seeing the bill come in. I said, you know what? Let me go ahead and sit down and really, really press this out. I knew I had already had
Right.
this budgeted, but let me see if I can save something else. I know I can. Next thing I know, I can. And so guess what? I save it. And so now
And that's, I mean,
that's even more
that's
money that's freed out of my cash flow now. So now I can do something else with
right.
that. I can invest that money or I could do something else with it. Now, I don't want to go out here and just buy some other junk with it. So I'm probably going to use that money to invest with it now. That's just a little extra chunk that I can put it towards investing. And now I didn't have that, but now it's just sitting around. So boom, I just throw it in there and mess around with it and make 100% off of it and just keep flipping it that way. Why not?
So let me ask you then, do you think it's a good idea to kind of create a budget? Say you've got, or I even, I guess I did it out of school, and it was kind of, you assume, you get your first job, you try to make sense of what my budget is going to be.
Yeah.
Do you think it's a good idea for folks to want to readjust that every 6 months, depending on, even given a scenario like COVID happens, that'll require you to adjust your finances and your thoughts? How do you think people should kind of go about that?
To be honest, man, I think you should do it like, yo, you need to do it actively, like probably monthly to every quarter. Cause it's like, what am I really spending on? Cause if you can't really identify what you're spending on, that right there is a problem. Because you're just blindly spending. You'll go out into a store and just buy something and not even know that you're spending money. You don't even know
And
how
those
much money you spent.
Casamigos bottles add up too.
Exactly. You just going out, you see it, you got an extra $100, $200 laying around, and you like, oh man, let me go get me some Douce. Let me go out
Yeah,
and do
yeah,
this. Let me go do that. And then that extra 200 that you had hanging around goes down to probably an extra 20. Sometimes it goes negative, and now you negative $50 because you knew you had that extra 20. You and spent so much that now you spent that plus a little bit of extra. And yeah, that little bit of extra wasn't much, but when you look at the gap plus that little bit of extra, you just spent, if you had that
right.
250, you just spent 250. And then yeah, you only went inside your budget $40. $50, but that's $300 that you just spent out the blue for no reason. You could have used
And
that.
you
Me
really want to
personally,
invest.
when I think about that, I could have put that in an option, made 300 in about a week or two, or even faster if I got in on one of these plays where we be doing the day trades. But I might get in on a real like smooth play that's not gonna be running all
Right.
crazy and stuff. And it's just a good play that I want to get in on, and it's just a good, solid, safe play that I can make a
Right.
good 70 to 100% profit on. I could have did that,
Yeah, and that's
and that's just how I think about it. And a lot of people don't think about it that way because number one, they don't understand that they can trade the markets and make that money that fast, or that they can make money in it. Period. They think
right.
that is just too hard, too much, it's a scam, a whole bunch of different things.
Or long term, you won't get it for another 5, 10 years. I was
Yeah,
even talking to Raheem about, you think about it, you cover, say you it's a goal to cover a couple bills. That's all you try to do for that time, be specific with your goal. And then once there, now you have extra money if you want to grow your knowledge. Yeah, but you've also covered some expenses into the day. It's kind of
exactly,
twofold. So.
exactly. So that's the thing, man. It's just that overall education, and that's what we talk about. It's just financial education because there's certain things that you can do, like life hacks. Like you can easily just use your water at certain times, because stuff like that gets capped. You know, use your electricity at certain
Yeah,
different times because stuff like that.
that was
The
the thing that
rates
got
go up and
me.
down. I mean, it's certain life hacks
Yeah,
that all you really have to do is just sit down and think, or just not be as lazy. If you do certain things like that,
exactly.
it's a lot of different things that you can save money on. But you have to want
Yeah,
to save money, and you have to be proactive about knowing what you're doing and what your goal is. Like you have to know, like, okay, I want to stop spending all this money. I want to do something else. I want to own something. I want to, like I want to own a business. I want to own some equity in something. I want to own something. Or I just
right.
want to just have a lot of money and pay off my debts, and I could just, if I wanted to go on a trip, I could. Like whatever your goal is, like you can do anything that you want to do. The thing is, you just gotta have that goal, and then you just have to have the discipline to do what you said you're gonna do. Cause that's the biggest thing is you can have the idea, but are you going to do what you said you were going to do?
Right. Put it into practice. I had gotten
Yeah,
so bad about it during school. I was up here. I would unplug my microwave and my toaster. So I
yeah,
thought that was gonna be at least another, $10 that I could save over a week while I'm in class. I'm not home. What's the point of having them plugged up?
exactly.
So
I
it's
knew
little
some
stuff
guys that
like
did
that.
the same thing too. But
Yeah.
man,
Yeah.
it's like once you're on that mindset though, and it's like you move different. You move different. You're not out here just buying anything just to buy anything because you understand that you can use some of that money that you were gonna buy that with. You can make some money with that money, and then all the money you got left over now from the profits that you made, go buy some of that stuff. I mean, because now you made your money, make money to go get that. You're not using money that you physically earned. You're using money that you just kind of put to work for yourself. That's what a
Right.
lot of rich people do. They use their assets to buy their toys. They don't go out here and use their hard earned working money to buy
Right.
toys. Like they use
You're
the
kind
assets. Like that's why you have
yeah.
to own an asset to even be able to get appreciation on
That's
something
the
so
thing.
that you can then be able to, get some money off of what you own.
That's it.
That's why ownership is so key. But if you don't own anything or have any type of equity or anything like that,
You
then
know, it makes it hard to get into the conversation.
yeah. And that
So
even comes down to if you just want to own your home or own your car or something like that. Like it's a lot of different things like that. If you want to start investing into art because art appreciates, that's an asset. But don't go out here
yeah.
investing into all this other stuff like all the clothes and I mean cars are a necessity, but you don't necessarily need one.
Right.
And with
Or
that
something
being said, if you
or break the bank.
I'll say you don't need to let me say you don't need to spend an exuberant amount on one. I'll say that.
There we go.
I'll
Yeah.
say that. Because sometimes you do need to move around. But in the day and age of Uber now, I mean like do you really need a car? You know? Then you
Yeah. I
got
mean,
ride
a
share
lot of
plans
people
and all types of stuff like that. You
right.
got things where you can actually rent cars, and like be a part of a membership where you get
Mhm.
access to these cars like zip cars and things like that. You have all these uh electric bikes, electric scooters. You can buy one or you can rent it. I mean, you really don't need a car.
Early charges. Yeah, you can really kind of move and
Yeah,
structure
you
it
can
differently.
move how you want to move without owning a car. I'll say that without owning one. But I mean, it all depends on the lifestyle that you want. And I mean, if you're getting to the point where you're getting Lamborghinis and Maybachs and stuff like
I don't know.
that, you don't want to buy that mess anyway, because that's the worst thing that you can buy. Because
Yeah,
that's the worst.
that's
That's a
great tank.
huge liability. Yeah, man, that
Right.
just drags your whole bottom line down, man.
Zero.
That drags everything down. Because you now own something that, man, that thing worth nothing now, hardly, compared to what
And
you
you
just spent for it.
anything breaks on that, there goes all the money you thought you were gonna
Yeah, so you want to lease those bad boys. I mean, you can buy it if you want to. You can go out here and you can say, "Yeah, I got the pink slip. I own this." Boom, boom, boom.
make.
But that's the wrong thing to be stunned about. And go get you some
Right.
property or a house or a business or a commercial property or something like that, and then show the deed to that or something like that. Get some land or
Yeah.
something. Get something like that and then brag about that. But saying that you own a Maybach, that's cool, but that ain't finna do nothing for you.
Yeah. I mean, people don't really understand and see the value of it. I mean, we all know about cars appreciating over time.
Yeah.
We've all heard, but it's
And
more of
of course people want to drive the luxury and they want to drive in the best. And then you hear people say, well, don't buy. Okay. There's nothing wrong with leasing. That's what the purpose of a lease is for. You drive it and then
yeah,
you give it back. Like, there's no
aren't
point
stuck
of
with
you
it.
having that Maybach because okay, you got a Maybach and it's 2021. You got that 2021 Maybach now. All right, so now it's 2030 now. You still got that 2021 Maybach. And 2030, these things flying and doing all types of stuff now. What you
Right.
gonna do? You're gonna be pissed off because you still got the same 2021 Maybach that you can't sell to nobody. Or if you
And
try to
then by
sell it to
then,
somebody, they're gonna try to give you nowhere near what you paid for it for. So you really sitting here like mad. Like,
and don't let the electric the don't let you have to switch to electric cars by then it's gonna be over with.
it's over. You real
Yeah,
pissed off.
yeah.
You real
Well,
pissed off now.
you can make it electric. That's a whole nother expense that you didn't have to encounter
I'm
now.
telling you, man. So it's like certain things just don't need to be bought. That's all I'm gonna say.
I'm right with you. I'm trying to see.
That's all I'm gonna say. But hey, you got some picks. We can go
Yeah,
ahead and wrap this thing up.
yeah. So I said GE a couple shows ago, and that one was
Okay.
pretty good. That I was looking at as well. Well, this was some. I saw the Atlas or technical consultants have a $10 million maintenance contract with the Department of Transportation of Georgia.
Wow.
So off that today, I mean, they went up. They were up 27%. But I was also looking at this GXK or GSK. I'm sorry, and they're going to be have some earnings where a hedge fund manager has an interest in them. So I'm thinking, obviously, if some money is going in there, you might as well jump and
For sure,
play
for
with
sure.
the big ride that wave and
For sure, for
see. So
sure. Why
that's
wouldn't
for
you?
my go with GSK and GE.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. Well, I was short Marriott a couple weeks ago. I closed that short. I'm back short again, man. That bad boy ran
Okay.
up. I'm back short again. So I'm finna make some more money off Marriott, man. I'm going
You were
short
on
on these
Marriott for
boys.
a little minute too.
Hey, I made that money off of them. I made that
Yeah.
money off that first short.
Mm-hmm.
It tanked out, came back, got high again. I said, I know you don't want to be up here. It started tanking back down. So now
See,
I'm
and
just
that's
waiting a little bit longer. Hopefully tomorrow. They got earnings tomorrow. So hopefully they can tank that thing on out tomorrow and I can close for my profits and everything will be fine.
And that's a great example of how to play both sides of the market.
Yeah,
You look at it two different ways instead of people looking at it just for buy opportunities and where
exactly.
it's going to go.
Yeah,
Pay
because I'm
attention to
always
both.
looking for. I like shorts more than I
Yeah,
like longs, just
right.
because they make money faster.
Yeah,
But everybody likes to buy and
right.
see that thing go up.
That
So
sounds good.
I'm part of that
Yeah.
too.
Hey,
Everybody
we
has an
want to
affinity to see it go up more than go
we want
down.
to make sure everybody knows that you can play both sides. Though that's what we offer here.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Assessing both sides of the market.
For
Uh,
sure, for sure. If you see something or something that's finna crash out, don't just sit there and watch it crash out.
right,
Make some money
right.
off of it.
Yeah, yeah.
That's all it is.
Okay, so
But
you said Marriott. What was it? What was that?
hmm,
You said Marriott, and then
no, that's all I had was Marriott. I just shorted
okay,
them. Like that's the one that I really really like right now. At least I'll say that.
yeah.
But with that being said, if you guys want to get a little bit more information, you want some more stocks, you want to ask us questions, you want any of that stuff, head over to hackthemarketstrading.com. You can get you a free account over there, or you can get the premium account, and that's how you can actually interact, get into our chat room, see what we're trading, see all our analysis and things of that nature. Outside of that, follow us on Twitter, follow us on Instagram, like our Facebook page, and definitely subscribe to the YouTube channel. We'll have more things coming up in the future, especially some webinars. So definitely be on the lookout for that. We're gonna start producing a little YouTube shorts too. So if you're on the mobile, definitely start checking us out on that. Let some friends know and help us grow this page.
That's it, man.
Anything else you want to
We'll look
add
at
to this 4K? Got some more
Thursday.
enlightenments
We're
to
back.
share with the people.
Thursday, we're back for the next one.
Yes, sir. We back 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that's 6 on the what's that, Central. So that'll make it 4 on Pacific.
Cool, cool.
So until Thursday, I hope you guys have a good one. Hope you guys make some money. And hopefully I make some money on this Marriott. If you're watching this, hopefully you make some money on this Marriott too. I'm already short, so I got in at like a nice little peak. So we gonna see
Alrighty,
tomorrow. All right,
yes,
guys.
sir.
We'll see